Yes, you, watching this video. Do you want to own a piece of Scribbler? Only not a lock of hair or blood or flesh or anything else that will get you in trouble with the law? Well, now you can, with t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags and mugs featuring Obab Scribbler at her Teespring store. You know you want to. I shall now stop talking in third person and send you on to the video. Be lovely to each other and enjoy the show. It was that time of year again, and all throughout Equestria celebrations were taking place. Far from the regalia and splendour of birthdays and kingdom-wide holidays, ponies were gearing up for a holiday far more important than yearly merrymaking. Gifts were all but arbitrary. The best gifts, however, were encouraged by all, and almost always never to be expected by their recipients. After all, what better time of year to celebrate the very ponies that gave birth to a model pony, or that of which brings new light into an already shining world of magic and friendship? From the humble homes of towns and villages to the great palaces and fortresses of the kingdoms and empires, Mother's Day was bright and beautiful, and all but few were filled with joy by its long-awaited arrival. In the clouds and colosseums of the Pegasi city of Cloudsdale, mothers were honoured and revered as exemplary role models, their wings adorned with traditional lace, and they themselves given plenty of airspace to fly about the city and spend time with their beloved children of the sky. In the earth pony cities of Trottingham, Baltimore and Appaloosa as well, mothers were treated to a day of magnificence, the gifts they received commonplace to most holidays, but their spirits bolstered by the love and devotion provided by those who gifted them. Tears were shared and stories were told, but nothing could compare to the pride the mothers felt for the ones they raised and supported up to this day. In the Royal Guard barracks of some cities, Equestria-wide, the protectors of the town were receiving tremendous news. Her Royal Highness, Princess Celestia, in agreement with her younger sister, Princess Luna, had called for a rare event. To those who did not wish to volunteer to stay behind, Royal Guards were given an uncommon freedom. They hung up their bulky suits of armour and put away their spears and swords in favour of putting on some nicer clothing and treating their mothers to dinner in the city's finest eateries. It had been a long time since they had seen their relations during their tour of duty, and everything had to be absolutely perfect for such an occasion to be memorable for as long as they lived. From the first glimpse of sunrise to the coming of the stars at night, mothers were given relief as to the whereabouts and safety of their offspring and daily lives. Despite the forgetfulness of some ponies in the land, all seemed right in the world. The air was just right, and the skies were crystal clear. Even the animals, some a part of sentience, seemed to be paying a visit to their own mothers, whenever they could find them anyway. In the land of Equestria, the greatest kingdom in the world, from the eyes of all who remained in a positive light, sadness was but a figment to them. Everything was perfect. Speaking of perfect, one such pony was so devoted to Mother's Day that she had been counting down the very minutes themselves to the final approach of this momentous occasion. In a field not too far from her hometown of Ponyville, Fluttershy skipped along the ground as happy as could be, humming a soft, jumpy tune to the rhythm of her each and every step. In her mouth she carried a bouquet of flowers, flowers she had hoof-picked one by one with tender love and care. In her hair she carried a bright pink barrette, a gift re-gifted, something her mother gave her when she graduated from flight school. As she ascended a small hill, her merriment brought her back to an earlier period in her life, a small section of a timeline of special happenings of which she will never forget. She felt her 5th birthday in the city of Cloudsdale was the thing of utmost significance. There she sat on a balcony, staring out into the city with wonder in her eyes, marvelling at the size and majesty of fresh new rainbows pouring from the city's rainbow factory, a central hub where the very symbols of peace and tranquility were carefully mixed, assembled, and partially flavoured, as she unfortunately found out one curious spring morning, and shot into the sky. Some rainbows ascended for miles into the heavens, carrying over into distant lands, behind mountains and in deep valleys. Just then, a triplet of soft knocks arose at her bedroom door, and her mother, tender heart, bright and beautiful as ever, quietly slipped inside and surprised her from behind a warm hug and a freshly baked cake. Atop the cake were a neat assembly of colourful lit candles, objects wholly classified as the proper gateway for the traditional birthday wish. With a single wisp of her breath, she wished for her mother to always love her, forever and ever, no matter what. A bit of a cheesy yearning in her day and age, but a yearning nonetheless. Fluttershy was just about to continue her ever-so-pleasant journey down the golden brick road of Memory Lane when she noticed she was nearing the top of the hill. She could see her mother already waiting for her atop the sun-bathed zenith, and quickened her pace. She arrived at the top in no time flat, brimming with excitement. Mother's Day was truly a one-time event for her position as Ponyville's caretaker of all things big and small prevented her from doing much of anything unless it was for her friends or pets. It wasn't easy, but some pony had to do it. Such a job took a lot of time out of her though, for she didn't even bother to plan a schedule of free time. But whatever time she was given outside of caring for the local fauna, she used as thoroughly as possible. Every moment counted, and not a single one was ever put to waste. She liked that about herself. It's what made her, well, her. But she couldn't thank herself. She wouldn't thank herself. The reward belonged to some pony else entirely, and Mother's Day was the only time of year she could take time out to personally honour the one who had raised her and called her her own. The one who'd cared for her, the one who'd sheltered her, the one who'd taught her, the one who'd loved her.
Happy Mother's Day, Mommy.
Fluttershy laid down her bouquet in front of her mother's grave.